understand organizational goals. First step is know the rules, know the laws, know what the principles and objectives behind performance measures. Now you got to know something about your company. This is general about performance measures. Won't work unless you incorporate these. But now you have to focus on the goals of your company. If it's not related to the main strategic goals, don't do it. Starting point measurement is a set of clear organizational goals. The principal purpose of performance measure is to gauge progress against stated program goals and objectives, presupposing that strategic program objectives are known. So, why would you do that? I mean, why is that an important step? Think about some of the rules that maybe you've heard. Why is it important to focus on the goals? That's where you're heading, and because it costs money. And you don't want to just focus on color bathroom walls, or something that doesn't make a strategic impact. And it costs money, it costs time, it costs effort. It makes people stop what they're doing. It slows progress toward achieving products and everything, because performance measures will take some time and effort to design. And you only want to look at the organizational goals. Yeah. The goals would be effectiveness, right. And efficiency would be how fast you achieve the goal, maybe. How well you achieve the goal. All right. Find the system mask if it's doing what it's supposed to do. And this is the point you were making earlier. You can take performance measures and you can measure the wrong thing and it will cause more problems than it's worth. So improving customer relations, measuring the amount of desk time will likely work against the amount of time spent with the customer. So if you're looking at time charging and punching the clock, that won't work for everybody, because that measure takes people away from the customer, visiting the customer site. Make sure the system matures what you want it to done. Okay, now here's a goals tree. Have you ever seen a goals tree before? This is the highest company goals. These may be divisional goals. These may be product goals. This may be personal goals to achieve that product goal. And if you see something, if you can connect all the goals to the highest goals, then that's a good thing. But here's where you lay off. You see a personal goal or division goal that doesn't connect to the highest goal, that's the place you cut. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? Okay. So you look for those. All right, now, the next thing is you have goals, and you're trying to select criteria related to those goals. If your goal is to make customers happy, what would some of the criteria be related to that? I mean, I gave you a broad general goal. So what criteria would a customer judge you on the products you have? You're trying to make your customer happy. What are they looking for? Looking for quality, looking for value, efficiency, maybe, I don't know. But there's certain things that are connected to that overall goal, right? So it may be quality, it may be schedule, it may be the scope. If you're thinking about project management, those three constraints: cost, schedule, scope, related to achieving that goal. That's the criteria. Now, basically keep the end in mind. We'll go to the next one. What are the indicators related to the criteria? So we said that we want to make customers happy. Quality is important to them. What are indicators related to quality in your organization? How do you know you have good quality? You got what? Okay, so you're measuring. An indicator is you don't have customers sending it back. So you might want to measure that. Okay, customer complaints may be an indicator of good customer quality and satisfaction of the customer, right? Right. These are things you can count, right? And so the indicators are connected to the criteria in that our goals make customer happy. One of the criteria is quality, and the indicator is how many complaints and how many other things. All right. I just hit it twice and it went on. Anyway, there's a bunch of ways to look at that. This is something that's a good thing to know. Do you know, you've heard the word benchmark before, right? So a benchmark is takes its word and quality from a map. Have you seen a benchmark on a map before? Anybody have ever read maps? You probably have. And a benchmark is some place on that map that you know the elevation, you know what it's about, right? It's a benchmark on the map. Well, in an organization, the word benchmark is a noun. Okay? So benchmark is where we are or where that company is that we're trying to benchmark. Does that make sense? So we're trying to find their benchmark. So the benchmark is that red line. That's our competitor, what we're trying to look at. Benchmarking is a verb. Do you know what the difference between benchmark and benchmarking? These are okay. It's close. Benchmark is an example of what looks really good. Benchmarking is putting a team of people together, trying to find out what someone's doing that's really good, and bringing that information back to us so we can apply that. So in benchmarking exercise, we'd take a group of our people out to study how well someone is doing their accounting system. And so we can't go to a competitor because they may lie to us, they may not let us in the door, and they may not want us there, right? So we go to people who are non-competitors and find something they're doing that's like something we're doing, and they're the best in the world, so they're more likely to share information with us. Does that make sense? Okay, so the benchmark is where some company is. Here's where we are, so our target has to go past the benchmark in order to compete. Does that make sense? So we're trying to find performance indicators and how we can improve. If this is number of customer complaints, then maybe our competitors, as a benchmark, the best competitor we have, maybe the best appliance competitor out there, has so much information. Well, we're trying to go past them in order to be the number one. So our actual target has to be ahead of where they are. Okay.
Everybody wants to be better than, right?
Yeah, that sounds like a good example. And Intel may be specifically related to something, you know, like you said, processes in general, but maybe a certain aspect of those processors. Maybe speed, for example. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's an overall picture of how it fits together.